Hello, everyone. Namaste. Welcome to Light, Laughter, and Lattes. My name is Geri Habstritt. I'm a medical intuitive, Avesa quantum healer, and your host for Light, Laughter, and Lattes. So, welcome everyone on Oneness Talk Radio, Facebook, YouTube, and if you're catching this via podcast on Spotify or any of the others, welcome. So glad to have you here today. Today is a special day for so many reasons. Not only is it a full super moon up level mastery day, which is so big. I'm sure you're feeling the energy of that. I will go into the ascended numerology, the numbers and the significance of this super full moon and the energy that it's bringing and the opportunity that it's bringing to everyone shortly after I introduce my guests. But if you are here with me live today, go ahead and jump in the chat. I always love to know when you're here. Just jump in, say hi. And I will give you opportunities to join in the conversation as well today, because it is a huge manifestation day. All these full moons are, and especially the super moons, where our co-creation is amplified when we're all together. So this show can be an opportunity for that amplification. So you are glad to join in via the call board or via the chat if you would like, and add your co-creative energy to this day. So I would like to welcome my guest. Her name is Pollyanna Blanco, and she's been a soul sister that I just met via a trip that we took to Merida, Mexico. Oh boy, like 2-3 weeks ago. We went there to visit some pyramids, to kind of consecrate some land that we will be collectively building a pyramid at, and we did ceremony there. And it was a lovely, lovely journey of unification, bringing in that feminine energy in perfect balance, and kind of a soul sisterhood, and also a time of creation. And so Pollyanna and I really hit it off well, because we both are not only fond of serving humanity, but we also love to dance. So thought it would be fun to have her on this beautiful co-creative day as we celebrate the energy of unification, manifestation, and self-realization. So Pollyanna is a spiritual mentor, a quantum energy healer, and a sacred embodiment facilitator. Excuse me, I'm tongue-tying my words. Welcome, Pollyanna.
Oh, thank you so much, Geri, for having me on today. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I'm so honored on this magical day to share in this energy collectively with you and with everyone on the call, live or even afterwards. So it's just such a juicy day.
It is. It's a big day. It's a big day, and I can feel it, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun when like-hearted, like consciousness beings come together, because all of our gifts are amplified, magnified, and assisted. Like, I notice that I am better when I have other people with like consciousness with me, because they help to balance me, they help to kind of affirm me, and then together, literally together, we are better.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, that whole experience of recognizing and really experiencing that oneness, that unification through service, through our commitment to live from our hearts is where magic and miracles happen. And I really experienced that collectively recently on that trip where we met each other. And it was what touched my heart so deeply is that I really felt that whole sense of unification, the power of unity, of a unified vision, a unified commitment to service, how that powerfully ignites a deeper awareness, an expansion of who we really are. And that it is possible. Quite frankly, that it is possible. It is a choice, and it doesn't have to be difficult or hard. It can be fun. It can be easy. It can be playful and joyous. And I really enjoyed connecting with you and with everyone else. And so, yeah, manifestation, it actually really ignited something in me about this topic that you invited us to talk about today, the topic of manifestation, right? Because it's that, for me at least, it's that sense of alignment when everything starts to, when I get really clear on my why am I here, then the noise, the static on the line, it just, it doesn't have the same pull to take me out of that space of choice, because it feels so good to be in that space of choice that calls in that sense of amplified amplified intention, amplified love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I want to go to a little bit about, so why are we in this energy of the unification and the self-realization and the manifestation, right? Those were the three words I used for today's show. So ascended numerology, if those of you who are listening aren't aware of ascended numerology, it is beyond traditional numerology. Traditional numerology was a little bit truncated, meaning it didn't tell the full story, or it doesn't tell the full story. Whereas ascended numerology considers that we are souls that are traveling forever, not just this planet, not just this lifetime, that we are infinite. And it literally includes the zero, which is the infinite, in part of the numbers. And these numbers all carry meanings, and the numbers don't lie. I mean, this science is so accurate that it is mind-blowing. So today is an 11, right? And if you think about the 11, right, the 1 in the 1, it's a mirror. It's a mirror. And so what do mirrors stand for? Well, it's to be able to look in the mirror, and do you love what you see? To look in the mirror and accept what you see. And it is so much about presence, embodying the energy of presence. Can you be present when you look in the mirror? If you think about that, right? How many times, I mean, even me on my journey, many times I look in the mirror and right away, can I sit there and just be present with what I see? Or am I looking at flaws? Am I looking away? Am I judging? All of those things. And life is always offering us a mirror everywhere. So, how is your experience of today? What are the mirrors showing you? Because that's what the 11 is, it's a mirror. And are you able to be present in that mirror? What are you being reflected? It's all about the reflections. And can you accept it? Can you love it? Can you forgive it? Can you avoid the distractions? Because the 11 is also about the beloved. It's the one and the one, right? The masculine, the feminine. It's a sacred union energy. So the energy of the beloved wants you to be one with it. So are you running from it by distraction? Or are you embracing it, right? So huge day. It's the number of self-realization as well, the one and the one. So we've got this day on a super moon, like the universe saying, okay, it's unification, right? The masculine and the feminine together is a unification energy. And it's a self-realization energy, because when the one and the one comes together in perfect balance, that can ignite kundalini. That's that energy that weaves up, that literally burns up all of the past, all of the third dimensional energies that are basically an illusion, so that you can really start your higher service from the fifth dimension and beyond, right? So we've got this 11 energy, which is the overarching energy of the day, and it's on the 13th, the 1 and the 3, which is a 4. That's perfect balance. And perfect balance means an open heart with the solar plexus in balance with the heart, meaning you have an open heart, but you're also in your power, right? An open heart out of balance is a doormat. And many of us have been there. I've been there. I was a doormat for a long time. I had an open heart, but I gave to everyone else first, and I allowed myself to be second, right? So it's that perfect balance of the open heart, but yet you have the discernment and the know what right action to take. And so that's the 13. And then the supermoon peaks at 5:08 p.m. in Eastern Standard Time. 5:08 is another 13, which is another 4, another perfect balance. So those two numbers are mirroring each other, just like the 1 and the 1 is the mirror. So we have this energy of unification, the opportunity to be present, receive the energy of the beloved and our soul and self-realization, and to bring not only perfect balance within ourselves, but that in turn brings perfect balance to the world. So it's like this beautiful opportunity of so many things, right? And because it's a super moon, it's big. It's big. It's highly manifestive. So if we all come together in the energy of presence and unification, right, in perfect balance, we can create so much beautiful magic today. And so, Pollyanna, how have you been experiencing this energy, this full moon energy so far today?
Well, I've been experiencing a lot of flow today. And a lot of love. Um, I've been feeling this energy. I felt it this morning actually when I woke up, that there was this presence that I was, as you said, looking into the mirror in. And it, for me, I experienced it as having this like weight. And at the same time, there was something in me that's been percolating ever since and integrating ever since the June solstice, that allowed me to meet that energy with a sense of I'm here, I'm here, and feeling grounded. And at the same time, from that place of feeling grounded, there continues to be a sense of, it's like a grounded neutrality, an ability to be in the presence of this awesome co-creative power, and to 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 stand before it with an open, willing heart. In the past, I think I tended to hide more. I tended to sort of scamper away from something that felt that powerful, because when I looked into that mirror in the past before.
Can I interrupt just one
Sure,
second,
yeah.
Pollyanna? Your hands are maybe moving against your mic cord or something. So when each time you lift your hands, it's covering up what you're saying.
Oh dear. Okay, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. So sorry to interrupt, but I want people to be able to hear.
Okay, no, thank you for interrupting. And you can tell I'm a dancer because I don't sit still. I'm using my hands to do interpretive dance, right? Yeah, in a nutshell, yeah, what I was just sharing was I felt the presence, the sort of the magnitude of a very profound energy this morning. And when I say it had a weight, it's more the word I want to choose is it has a presence. It has a presence. And I felt I was able to meet that, the presence of that energy from a place of neutrality and an openness, like I'm ready to engage with that energy. Because when I looked into it, I felt that that energy was inviting me to dream bigger than I've ever dreamt before,
Mm-hmm.
to trust in my dreams, to allow myself, to give myself permission to dream. It was a very beautiful, activating energy. And to be honest, I've never felt anything quite to that degree before. I don't know how you experienced it yourself
Yeah,
today.
I'm feeling it as you're sharing it, because when you're saying like there's a presence in it, yes, I'm feeling that. I went for a walk and almost it felt like the world stopped, but I'm moving
Mhm,
through it.
mhm,
And it feels like a time out of time.
mhm,
Like,
mhm.
whoa, I can do whatever I want. So I'm so excited that my show is right here, because the co-creative power that I'm feeling, and it's a power, too. This presence is a power that that we can kind of weave through. And something for people to notice, full moons are a sign of like, what are you full of? I know many times people will act out during full moons, because if you have a lot of emotions that are under the surface, the full moons will uncover those. So, yay, right? Dance it off. Dance it off. Happy dance, turn on music and move that stuff, right? Because they'll reveal to you, right? They'll show you what you are full of. So, you may be experiencing, like us, this fullness and presence, but at the same time, you may be, releasing, which is great too. Or sometimes the releasing happens a day or two after the full moon. That full moon comes in with its magic and its power and its crystalline light, and that energy goes in then and will transmute or blast all the lower frequency energies, and you might have a healing for a couple of days.
Uh, I can
So
relate to that. I've been there myself with each moon is so unique. Each full moon is so unique in terms of how we experience them. And it's exactly the right and perfect amount. I think that I just want to add in there to trust as much as possible. Whatever your experience is, it's all okay. And it's all in the right and perfect amount that you can handle, no matter how you dance with it at first, right? Just to trust that the energy is ready to be coming up to be released, and just to be okay with that, to flow with that.
yeah, absolutely. So we're just coming off collectively the group of Self-Ascension, which is many of you are watching, and maybe some of you that aren't, are a group kind of mentored by Shri and Kira, SriandKira.com. And so our group collectively just went through 7 days of hope and 9 days of unification, where we had these uplifting messages each day so that we're all coming together in the energy of hope and, a hope for humanity. And then 9 days of unification. So leading up to this full moon. And so I have been really in this energy of unification, feeling it strongly. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for all of us to kind of add what unification means to us and how your vision of the world is for unification. And so any of you who are in the chat too, please just type in your vision of the world, what unification means to you, because this is like an energetic container that we're weaving of co-creation on this manifestation day. So love to have your collective energy added to that. And so, Pollyanna, I'll just start with you. What is your, when I say unification, for humanity, what does that bring up in you?
Well, what it brings up for me in me is a sense of a deep core remembering of the truth of who we really are, you know, beyond all the, I love what Shakespeare said, we're all actors on a stage, beyond all the window dressing, beyond all the different sets and scenery and all that. Unification is that pulse, that heartbeat that is one beat in all of us. And almost like cells in a body, we are all expressing, we all are sharing our energy collectively. Unification is about really returning to that still point within us and finding that we're not alone. We are more unified, more joined through love, through that common pulse, that common heartbeat, than anything outside of us might distract us from remembering. So unification is for me is really about slowing down, tuning in to the collective breath, the collective heartbeat that breathes the world and infuses life into the world. We are the universe, and the universe is us, and we are each other, and each other is each of us. And I feel like unification is restoring the dance too, the seamlessness, right? The flow, where the outer illusion that somehow you're different from me and this is my story and that's your story suddenly sort of falls away. It dissolves. It just, because the truth is so present that the flow restores again. So that's how I see unity.
Yeah, I'm hearing the word oneness as you're talking. So like oneness is unification. Okay, so I'm going to read a couple of these. So Jason wrote unification, a reawakening of the connectedness of our multidimensional being. I love
That's
that. Yes. Yes. And Angela writes, feeling into being and knowing there's only one, and there's really no space or time between us all. So another word, like you mentioned, for oneness. Um, Unification, a drop of any mode of duality from I am alone to simply I am. Yes, yes, yes. Loving all of that. It's really, everyone's saying what today is the one and the one. It's all about that unification or oneness, or looking in the mirror, seeing that there's only one, a mirror, right? Um, And for me, also unification, of course, first it's the unification within, the embodiment of the one and the one, receiving that that beloved energy, so that you are unified, masculine, feminine. You are unified with your soul in your body of form, right? So the unification of the left and the right, masculine, feminine, the sky and the earth, right? Our bodies from the earth, our soul is from not the sky, but we like to refer to it as that, right? Above. A higher place, I guess, would be the word for that. And really, that's the cross of perfect balance, which is the four. Okay. So the unification within, but then I'm also seeing it. I've been so focused in my visualization on seeing all the energy. There's lots of energy out there that's seeking to, um, kind of polarize people against each other. So I'm actually seeing the opposite of that. I'm seeing, people coming out of their houses and being present with each other, being back, helping their neighbors, doing things for their neighbors, being present with their neighbors, looking into their neighbors' eyes, and not, if they're going through something tough, not engaging in any victim or story aspect, but only seeing the highest in that person and being present for them. And seeing people starting to come together again in a closer way, like the TV's being shut off. I just read today that the bookstores are making this huge resurgent in the world, which I love, because there's been so much technology around that so many, especially the younger generation, are falling to their iPads and falling to their phones as a means of reading as opposed to books. And so there's this huge resurgence of bookstores. Well, I think it's people wanting, turning the TVs off, wanting something tangible, wanting to go to a place where they can have community and with soft surroundings and be with each other, And once we start taking care of ourselves and we take care of our neighbors, we can take care of our cities and we can take care of our states and we can take care of our country and we can be there for the world. Like the global mingo, right? Being of service and really taking that energy out there of potential polarity and just dropping it and going the opposite direction, right? Unifying with each other, recognizing that we are all one. We are all going through the same stuff together. So let's do it in a loving way. And so, do you have anything to add to that, Pollyanna? I was just taking a peek at the chat.
Actually, thank you for letting me jump in. I just, when you were talking about the reading books too, I also thought about the power of imagination. That just came into, because, the ability to create your own vision through the mirror of what you're reading, right? As opposed to having it pre-processed and delivered and packaged through TV, and curated by, TV directors and whatnot. And also when, for a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people when they read, they sub-vocalize a little bit, they hear themselves reading instead of narrating. To hear your own voice, your own tone of voice. I mean, again, if we're talking about mirrors today, what I love about this idea of going back to reading too is it's an intimacy with the self. And one of the beautiful things when you were talking about unification on so many different levels, of course, it starts within first, is there's that intimacy. And when there's all this noise and distraction and drama and polarization happening outside of us, that also pulls us out of being intimate, presence with ourselves. And along with that, I would also add that it's because it puts us into a totally different relationship with our bodies that, sort of a fight or flight state. Whereas when we're reading and we're restoring, I mean, there's something so soothing. I mean, growing up hearing a bedtime story and then as adults kind of hearing ourselves, reading to ourselves and activating our imagination, our ability to vision and envision. I just think there's something, it's a nice entry point back into that quiet space and time with ourselves that's soothing, and that opens us up to even more possibilities. Through, and it's creativity too, because I feel that unity is a creative choice. And what I mean by that is that when we're having everything presented to us through TV and whatnot, and it's all been curated for us, curated also, I would add, to have to potentially trigger a certain reaction in us. That when I say unification is a creative choice, it's the ability to see, this is what's showing up in front of me. How am I going to dance with it? Almost like an artist looking at their palette, right? These are all the colors, or a chef looking at, these are all the ingredients I can create a meal from. Where am I choosing to put my attention? Where am I choosing to focus my energy? And so if I'm choosing to focus on unification, that is a creative choice, because I'm creating from that space of focusing on what I love, focusing on what allows me to feel I'm creating the moment, creating how I dance through life. I feel like in polarity, the choice is reduced, or the illusion is that we can't see the choices available to us. And so creativity through unification allows us to see that our choices that are creative can unify also. That's how I want to express it.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So, I'm
Another thing too,
like,
that just popped in. If I don't
yeah.
want to go on for too long here. Please
No,
feel free
no,
to cut me off or
but
jump in.
is your mic dangling or something so that you or not? Is it down low?
I can hold it here if you want. If that
Oh,
is
oh, okay. Because it's doing the crackling again when you move.
okay. That's a perfect segue, actually. Okay, I'm going to master this. That it's this brand new microphone that I know we did the check the other day, the sound check, but I guess I was more still.
Of course, it wasn't doing it then. It never does.
Of course, right? Well, it's the perfect segue though. I know how much you love dancing, Geri, and I'm sure a lot of other people here love dancing too. And I feel like that's a great way to unify all the. So someone was mentioning in the chat I'm looking for it. I don't see it right now, but the multidimensional being, the presence,
Yes.
the interconnectedness with our multidimensional being, which I love that comment. And dance is such a wonderful way to experience unification within too. And also, I would encourage anyone who, like you shared, Geri, who is maybe experiencing things coming up during the full moon, just to dance it off, because that is a creative choice to unify through creativity, right? And as a chakra dance facilitator, that's something that, you know, on a deeper level, especially if we're talking about the world that we want to co-create together, right? One of the things is as we're as things come up, how important it is to clear them, to know that they're just coming up and we can release them. We don't have to get reattached to them again, and that instead of being pulled down into the mosh pit, we can choose to dance through those experiences that are coming up. And as we make that conscious choice to dance through the energies that want to move through us, that simple choice is a form of unification, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the physical. And the beautiful thing is that as each of us does this, we're not just doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for the collective. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's a huge point. Especially if you're a lineage holder. And chances are, if you're watching this, you probably are, because I know the two of us are lineage holders. And so anytime lineage holders do the work within, they're literally clearing the lineage forwards and backwards. And then they clear and they clear. So the domino effect goes and goes and goes. And what you were sharing before about the unification with dancing, there's like 3 or 4 of my, my favorite ways where you can get along and unify in this place of polarity. Dancing is one of them. It's something that I go out and do, and not a word is said, right? There's no talking about drama, trauma, none of that. We just dance together. Singing is another one, right? You can just join a group and sing and not talk, or playing games, or going to, like maybe a cooking thing, creating through cooking. But there's so many ways where you can go out into the world and play and have fun with whoever, no matter what their opinions or what's going on. And you can, they're shared experiences of joy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Connecting with joy and connecting with a oneness, especially during singing, you know, singing in a group. I always get that feeling of oneness when all the voices come together, no matter where they're from, sharing in something that you love to do. So I enjoyed your vision of unity through dancing.
Thank you.
Okay, so and I want to add too, if you're watching this and there's still time, we are doing a global meditation, and it's much more than a meditation tonight. It is a 1,000 points of light We would like I'm seeing 5,000 points of light coming together and using this one in the one energy, this mirror energy, this oneness energy in perfect balance to actually do a time jump, do a potentiality shift to bring us all into a space. And if you're a lineage holder, you potentially affect millions. So just think of the power of that. It coming together, it's going to be much more than a meditation, and it's going to happen live tonight on YouTube. So just in, it's going to happen live on YouTube. YouTube Oneness Talk Radio, I believe, but possibly YouTube Shri and Kira as well. And if you happen to catch this later, you can still probably go back and watch it for a period of time. So you can maybe connect with it tomorrow or the next day if you miss it. And it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern time this evening. So join us for that if you're watching, especially if you feel like you're a lineage holder. We're all being called right now. I have these wonderful cards of clarity. Do you have these, Pollyanna?
I can't wait to get them. I haven't gotten them yet.
You haven't gotten them yet.
I can't wait for the card pull.
Okay. So, you know what? I'm gonna pull two cards because of the one and the one. 11 would be too many. So we'll just go with two, and we're gonna see what the collective. And so when I pull these cards of clarity, just so you know, these are reflecting our energy, everyone here, whether you're in the chat, whether you're watching it later. And that's almost a crazy thing to grasp, is when you catch something later, how could my energy be a part of it when I wasn't there in person? But in a quantum world, it's all happening now, right? So I've actually had readings that appeared for me on a show that I listened to a year later, and they called me out a year before that. And that absolutely blew my mind. I watched the show a year later, and they knew that I would be listening to it a year later. Is that not crazy? So that goes to show our quantum, I think somebody mentioned quantum too, maybe not. Time or space blows my mind. Yeah, totally. Okay, so cards of clarity. Whoop. Oh, I just flipped them all over the place.
They're all jumpers.
They're saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. I want to be part of this. Okay. Oh, we have, so the heart card. Of course, perfect balance is all about the heart. And we have Archangel Ariel. So let me read Archangel Ariel. And it's Archangel 9. Look around this amazing planet. Everywhere you will find abundance. This abundance is expressed through nature and the protection of a world that has plenty to offer if you choose to accept it. It is time for you to claim your manifestation ability with full view of the abundance that is already around you. See everything as an abundant expression. Take a walk in nature, then arrive back to the place you started, the place where everything is in plenty and lack is an illusion. So we're claiming our manifestation power today on a day of a full moon. Good day to claim it. Good day to claim it. Good day to use it. Okay, and Self-Ascension heart.
Geri, if I could just hop in there for a second.
Yes. Yeah, please.
Do you remember those Choose Your Own Adventure novels growing up? Did you ever read any of those Choose Your Own Adventure novels?
No.
I don't know if anyone in the chat has read them, but just as this idea of, going out and focusing on what you want to create rather than, and choosing how you look in the mirror. I used to love those. It's a random thought that popped into my head right now in terms of because would read a certain section, and then you'd be presented with a choice point. You could go this way, and then you turn to this page, or you could go that way, and you turn to that page. And so you wouldn't read through the book in a linear sequential way. Anyways, it's just a thought.
Oh, well, Angela says she's read them. I don't know how that escaped my childhood, but is that what they're called? Adventure novels?
Choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure. Okay, I'm going to check those out. Okay, Self-Ascension for Heart. It is your time to let go of the old ways. The time of discovering and anchoring a new center has arrived. This new center is asking you to let go of the mind as ruler and to free the mind to serve you as intended, without interference or negativity influencing your decisions. When the heart center anchors itself as the ruler of the body, all decisions are obvious and a peaceful flow emerges from all situations. Place one hand on your heart and the other hand on your head. Breathe rhythmically and allow these energy centers to rebalance themselves. Pay attention to this balance until your new heart center is well established. So I'm going to do that as well. One hand on the heart, one hand on the head. And breathe. 4 breaths would be good. That would be perfect balance, right? Okay. There we are. That is always such a good reminder, because it is so easy in this world to allow the mind to start taking over and to start living from there, as opposed to coming back to the heart, right, where the presence lies. The mind will take you out of presence very quickly with to-do lists and everything else. Okay, well, do you have any parting thoughts for today, Pollyanna?
Thank you. I love what we've talked about today, and my parting thoughts would be, it's more of a felt sense, and I'm going to do my best to articulate it. It's connected to joy being our anchor, because you said something earlier, Geri, about joy, and I feel like joy is how we really touch into that unification, that sense of unity, because and I just want to make a small quick discernment there too, between the emotional joy, which is dependent on things going the way we expect them to, versus the spiritual joy, which is more about that sense of upliftment through remembering that there is no separation, there is that's only illusion. And so it's almost like I see it. I'm a visual person, so it's almost like a tapestry or a weaving, and we're all, as someone said earlier, interconnected and woven beautifully together. And together, we each have different colors of thread, and they all create this beautiful, larger, unified creation. And so, yes, that's how I'd like to express it right now. The joy of that, the joy of joining into and putting our focus and our attention through our heart rather than our head, as you just shared, on allowing ourselves to experience that kind of joy.
Right. I love that we're ending with joy, because joy is actually you can constantly heal your way up the ascension ladder, which I do. But the archangelic realm says joy is really the gateway. Like, it's a funnel. It's your, if you want to go the fastest, stay in the tunnel of joy, right? And joy is ultimately what'll raise Kundalini too, is that spiritual joy, right? And that's what that keeps it going, is the joy. So there's so much to the energy of joy. And you said you experience your greatest joy or spiritual joy. I can't remember. What was it? What was your key to remembering your spiritual joy?
Oh, joy is my anchor. That's sort of my new mantra these days. Joy is
Oh,
my anchor.
okay, okay. I experience the spiritual joy when I remember always that I'm a creator, like,
Mhm.
that I can shift anything. Like, if you're in a situation that's, it's not so much fun. Wait, hey, wait a minute here. I can shift this right now, you know? Or when you're out in the world and you've done something really fun or exciting and you leave the house and you immediately see reflections of that coming into your energy field, and it's like a nudge from the universe saying, okay, look at you, you're creating. And so how can you not have an amazing experience if you're the creator of it and you're creating joy, right?
Yes, it's what channel, what station are you tuning into, right? You know?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Today it's joy 1-1, right?
There we go.
Okay, well, thank you, Pollyanna, for joining me today. This was awesome, and everyone listening, I hope to connect with you at 8 p.m. Eastern time for our global meditation. And if you're catching this later, go to YouTube and join in and still get it, because right, there is no time, no space, so you can still add your love and your energy to it and receive the benefit from it.
And I want to thank you, Geri, for having me on. Thank you, everyone, for contributing your love and your co-creative blessings into this space. It's just such a blessing and an honor to be here with all of you and just having these kinds of conversations. I feel joy. I feel joy.
I do too. Yes, thank you. And I see Jean jumped on. Hi, Jean. Thank you. Glad you jumped in. Everyone in the chat, much love to you all. Have a fabulous week. Namaste, everyone.